Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Good evening, sim racing fans, and welcome to another round of the ILAKA GT3 series. Tonight we've traded the tight, sweet circuits and high-banked ovals for the flowing curves and technical challenges of Shell v Motorsport Park there. A little bit of tongue twister action. The international circuit layout we are racing tonight. This track blends these long straights with these tricky, tight braking zones, as well as the mix of fast and slow corners, meaning these drivers, they're gonna have to be all out here tonight on their tippy toes, if you will. We start tonight with the Silver Series, two 20-minute long races there, the heat and then the feature, and then there on the same broadcast. We'll be live again, two 20-minute heat, then that 20-minute feature for the Gold Series, but we have to remember that top 10 is inverted for the Gold Series, not quite for the Silver Series, as we're still trying to get everybody just up to where they, a little bit of pace action here. Before we get to some virtual trackside action, we'll take a look at the AM points here. Rodem Lev going to lead him off there with 145. Ito Tal, Liron Schechter there, Tal Stern. Tal was very fast in practice. I think he qualified fourth. He sits fourth in the points. Gabriel Fuchs there. Yadan Levy, Mini Land, Uddy Goldberg, Mini Sorik, Guy Baxtadarian, Iran Frinkel, Guy Bidey, or Biddy there, apologies, Guy, you have to help me out with that one. Ezra Raphael, I think Ezra's out here racing with us tonight, as well as Ofer Mazuz, running at the 14 driver points there for the Silver Series. Real quick, we'll take a look at the pro points as well. Alon Gabay is going to lead them off within the pro category. There we go. Yuval Merrick there, coming in at a close P2 in the Gold Series. Daniel Benizowski, Ayeli Rantisoni, Itzik Grossman, Yossi Gabay there, rounding at the 7th position. Maddie Rosen, Rodem Katz, Ignacio Glumsher, Omri Farag, Sisian Baba, Iran Delitsky, Mark Zubarev, Dima Medvedik, Jor Last, Yuval Rosen, Ito Baustan, Tomer Ventura, rounding at that top 19. All right, we're just a few moments away from getting to green flag racing here. We'll take a look at the starting grid here, brought to you by Stam Studio Network. Uddy Goldberg, our points leader here within the Silver Series. Remember, 2 weeks ago, he swept the Silver Series there at Misano. He's going to put it out on the pole once again. No, nothing new there. Rodem Lev, Yadan Levi, Tal Stern, Liron Schechter, Ezra Raphael, Ofer Mazuz, Mini Land, and Rand. Oh, I don't think Rand's racing here tonight. He's just spectating here with us. Rand, we see you sneaking in here trying to race with us, but you will have to unfortunately wait until the Gold Series here tonight. We'll take a look at some of the paint jobs that we're going to see here tonight. Uddy Goldberg, time and time again, he's running kind of this cherry red Mercedes AMG. But look at that, on the front row, I'm not sure if you've continue to watch races here on Stam Studio Network or not, but about every single GT3 series with this revamp of the whole sort of GT3 car here, as well as the tires, the Mercedes and the AMG as well as that Ford Mustang. Those cars have pretty much been at the quickest of the pack there. Porsche, how about that Porsche 911 there? Tal Stern, he'll start P4. Yadan Levy will start in that third position, the inside row. Liron Schechter there, nice paint job that we see out of Liron here tonight. There you see it there, IIL. Oh boy, that's Ezra Raphael's paint scheme there, that purple people leader. Liron there in the 34 blue, white, a little bit of baby blue action there. That number 34 Porsche. Look at that little Mustang back there behind him. We have a rolling grid here tonight, so I have to take off the start lights, and thankfully so. I know that you're probably begging for possibly a starting grid, excuse me, but no, with this newer set of tires that has been completely revamped within the iRacing simulator here for the GT3 series, I think it's definitely great that we have at least some sort of a little bit of a heat up session here for these tires. We're going to try to work some temperatures. We're trying to work some pressures into them here as the green flag is out here from Shell V Power Motorsports Mark here in the land down under. Already starting to see some 2 and 3 wide here as we head into turn 1. Look at that move out of Yadan Levi. He's going to take it, dive it down the inside line. Oh no, there comes Odie Goldberg right down around the inside. Oh, the Ford Mustang gets forced 3 wide. We'll settle things back to 2 here for Liron Schechter. What a start. Oh no, fastest start there. That was Yadan, yeah, it was. Man, oh man. Levy here has gone around early for the 303. We'll get back up here to the battle for P2 and then take a couple replays of it. And if you're just now joining us, let me know if the audio levels are okay. We got Ricardo Cano, we got Terry down here joining us for some nice IIL Esports action here tonight. Rodem Lev continues to sit right where he starts, but for how long? We're going to hop on board with Schechter here as he continues to find some pace. Oh, he's going to think better of it. Listen to this Porsche engine purr here as Liron sits 2 spots gained since the drop of the green flag. Ricardo saying, just stopping by to say hello. Hola, Ricardo. Appreciate you for stopping by here. Man, try to hang out with us for a little bit longer if you can, because you're going to see some great racing action here from the IIL. There you go. Had it switched around last time. IIL ILAKA Esports Series. Yadan Levy, excuse me, we saw down, out, and around early on. Here we're looking at Tal Stern. You best believe it. We have the real-life driver cam. That's Tal Stern. Right side, Ezra comes in with his real-life driver cam as well. We'll have to hop on board here in just a second with Ezra as Tal Stern tries to dive it down the inside, coming there out of turn number 18 as we will head back and down the start-finish line here. Now we're going to hop on board with Ezra here, looking at both of these triple monitors going to work for these drivers here tonight. That's one of my favorite comparison shots here as we start to compare and contrast the real-life racing. Well, you could call it real-life racing. It's their sim setups here, but lots of these drivers do compete in some real-life racing. Speaking of it, Rodem Lev, Liron Schechter here starting to fight it out for the second position. Let me know who you have down here tonight live in the old YouTube lands. If you're just now joining us, I appreciate you. My name is Sean Stam here live on the IIL and Stam Studio Network YouTube channels here tonight. We're continuing to see some battles between the 404 Ford Mustang as well as the number 34 Porsche number 911 number 34 here. Liron, we continue to see the pace here from this driver week in and week out. Remember, Liron finished P2 just 2 weeks ago there, down from Masano in the feature race for the Silver Series. Liron taking a bite out of the sausage curves. He'll put a little bit of a little bit of mustard on those sausage curves. At least that's how I like them. That's how you're going to find the pace here tonight. We'll take a look at the race start. And keep an eye on Yadan Levy here. Should be about middle of the screen. Okay, so the iRacing safety pace car dives into the safety of pit lane. Yeah, I mean, look at Levy up here. Had a nice starting position. He's that very vibrant pink and teal blue machine. so far the start is clean, calm, and cordial until, I mean, look at the braking difference there. Levy sends it down there into turn one, is able to get on the outside of Odie Goldberg. That's pretty impressive with the pace that Odie has had here, but oh, there's a little bit of free wide there behind him, and here's what happens. Oh man, the cold tires. Yuval Merrick say it ain't so. Man, oh man, this is probably, that's not the only time we're going to see this here tonight. Remember, newer tires that have been revamped within the GT3 car here on iRacing. These drivers, especially with not even a whole pace lap, you really can't get them up to operating speeds and operating temperatures just yet here. And here's where we're going to see it. It's just a slide gone wrong. Jan here tries to overcorrect it, and well, there's the overcorrection gone wrong. It's going to send him right back around. Very nice avoidance for all the rest of these Silver Series drivers here. Sure, we call them the Silver Series, but with that wreck avoidance, man, that beats quite a few of the old NASCAR leagues that I got brewing here in all SSN. Odie Goldberg continues to lead. Leron Schechter there right within the second running position. Tal Stern has actually made his way up to the third running position here as Rodem Lev had gone around. Here's a replay of his incidents here. Oh, not the Ford Mustang. He was my one to watch here tonight. Let's see what happens here. Is there contact? Oh man, he gets way too deep into the braking zone. I think the 34 there of Leron Schechter just pretty much had nowhere to go at that point. We'll take another look at it here. Possibly the old SSN drone camera shot this time by. All right, this is going to be at speed. I think Rodem completely blows the corner. He tries to play the defensive line, gets a little bit too deep, and then tries to come back into the inside there. Been there, done that here within. Oh, man, Rodem, goodness gracious. Almost about killed two drivers there. Fortunately, he's going to keep things moving and grooving here. We are only 60 minutes down within this first feature race here. Welcome in, welcome in. We got Ted, Terry, as well as Ricardo here joining us. Let me know, once again, if audio levels are A-okay. Can you hear the cars all right, or am I too loud? Here's Ofer Mazuz. They're the student driver, number 422. Look at the big old rear diffuser on this Ford Mustang. That's something that we also see within the next-gen NASCAR worlds here, within the intermediate tracks and above here. Oh man, we'll get back to that in a second. Here comes some more side-by-side. Rodem Lev tries to gain at least the fourth spot back here from Mini Land, but Mini, after a bit of penalties that he had to ensue earlier on within the series, Mini's going to start this race up here in the 8th position here tonight. Mini is our biggest gainer since the drop of the green flag, gaining 4 positions. We're going to hop back on with Rodem Lev, the best sounding GT3 here. Just as a comparison here, take this. We'll hop on board with the old Ferrari number 77 for Mini Land. Okay, well, that was perfect timing there. Mini, he's going to get that spot by is, well, excuse me, he's going to lose that spot as he goes off the track there trying to make a defend gone wrong. We'll take a look at it here. Oh, excuse me, that's his first off-track incident. Here's the second one as he's trying to play the defense over Rodem Lev. Oh, well, okay. We're going to have to back this puppy up here. Stick with us on Stam Studio Network because there was contact that had ensued. There was definitely some trading paint here. Look at the, or was it netcode? We're going to have to back this one up once again. Well, with the damage that you see on Rodem Lev's left front side there for that Ford Mustang, you might possibly say that it could be a little bit more than netcode. We'll take another drone replay of it. Okay, you might have to take the binoculars out. There's Mini Land. He goes wide. That opens the door up. The door, it was creaked open, but not that open there to get the Rodem Lev line to work. Rodem, he's going to send around Mini Land. Mini's not going to go for a play in the sand, though, thankfully. And he knows that we are racing here tonight. We're not at the beach on vacation. Mini, he's going to, so far, retain that 5th running position. But here comes Ofer Mazuz right there, right behind the number 422. All right, as we continue to approach halfway within our first feature race here, I'm going to treat you the fans here, as well as the league owners, as well as the drivers if they have a live copy on it here. Go ahead, enjoy the sights and sounds here tonight from Shell V Power Motorsports Park here, brought to you by SSN. I'll be right back with you up here in the booth. You can slowly crank this back down before you get a little bit loud up here in the booth, because look at Yaron Levy. He has places to be, man. Just sends it down there into turn number one, able to take it down around the inside of Ezra Raphael. I'll take another look at it here because I'm trying to do this justice here. Look at it just down deep into the braking zone here. It's actually around to the outside is Yaron Levy there. I don't even think there was contact. There's a little bit of evasive action there out of Ezra Raphael machine, but we're going to keep things battling up here. So far, we only have one driver out here tonight. That's Mini Land. Not sure where his trying to still look for his incident there that took him out of the race. This is back up here to P2. Ron Schechter, Tal Stern here. One of the league owners here, the IIL, ILAKA Esports and Karting League. Tal, he's having himself a really nice run here tonight so far, sitting within what would be the final driver interview spot if this was the silver feature race. Tal's last lap time was a 1:45.81. Ron Schechter's last lap time was a it just updated, a 1:46.37, but we can compare and contrast here. Take a look at that. And Tal Stern, he was fast in lap 3, 4, and 5, but now just almost tying, 0.048 seconds of a, excuse me, yes, slower than Leron there on lap 6, and then lap 7 almost a tenth of a second slower. Tal Stern continuing to close that gap as he continues to reel it away. Man, oh man, Stern has started to put the pace down within lap 6, 7, and lap 8 right here. That was a purple sector one here. We'll see how sector 2 starts to look for this Stern running Porsche number 911. Tal sits one spot gain since the drop of the green flag here tonight. If you're just now joining us here, first of all, well, I appreciate you. That means the world to me. Second of all, Whether you're joining in here on SSN or the ILAKA or the IIL YouTube channel here, you should have a little gear icon in the top right or bottom right of your screen. You can press that. You can bump the quality of this broadcast all the way up to 1440p. I say this every time, but it's true. We'll be able to probably see the whites of these drivers' eyeballs head across and out the camera. Man, here, take a look at that. Liron Schechter all the way back to P2 after starting 5th this race. Rodem Lev, another Ford Mustang. He is -2 since the start. He's got a little bit of front damage on his front left side as he went for a tumble earlier on in the race. So did Yaron Levy here. We have a quick replay once again at Levy's incident. This is after the start of the race. This was green flag and then heading into turns 1 and 2. Once again, just not quite as much grip as Yaron was expecting there. Not quite the grip he was expecting there, but now as he starts to reel in here, Ofer Mazuz, another Ford Mustang, I think we're going to start to see the grip that he was expecting, because now that we're 15 minutes out of this first heat race in this silver series here. Yep, there you see it. Deep into the braking zones. Got those brakes lit up like a, I don't know what it's lit up like a light bulb. There you go. That was too easy. Thinking too hard up here in the booth here, as Yada's going to make it look easy. Nice pass there over Mazuz. Rodem Lev here. Remember Rodem, he finished P4 2 weeks ago from Misano World Circuit in the Silver Series. Rodem drops back to P4, but continues to run about that same spot. Here we go. Once again, we'll hop on board with Ofer Mazuz here. Number 422, excuse me, Ford Mustang. He's not done battling Yaron Levy here for this 5th running spot. Says student driver for the 422 Ford Mustang of Ofer Mazuz here, but as we continue to see as much pace and racecraft that he continues to show here, I mean, I'm really liking what I'm seeing here. I don't know. Sure, we can all continue to learn every single day of our lives here, but they got a little bit more of the student driver. That's a racing driver that we're seeing out of the 422. And don't look now, but here comes Ezra once again here. Ezra started P6. He's trying to get it back here. That is another one of the real-life driver cams that we have. Far left side, Ezra putting about 90 degrees of steering into it here. Ezra starts to smell blood in the water. I think Ezra's looking like a shark right now. Here we go. He's going to definitely be within the slipstream. He's going to be within that draft heading into turns 1 and 2. We see what Levy can do into the hard braking zone here. I don't think Ezra's going to be necessarily close enough, or will he prove us all wrong? No, he'll smartly back out of it there. He'll get 2 tires up on the sausage curb in the entrance of turn 1, and then we'll make our way down into the tough technical portion here at Shell V. Even with that little bit of front-end damage for Ofer Mazuz here, he's continuing to hold off that hard-charging number 86 McLaren GT3. I think that was, what was that on the side? Did you guys catch that? Let me know on YouTube. What is it? ILAKA Esports? Okay, I can't tell there as we hit about, what are we working if, my conversions are not too good, but I think we're working 130 kilometers, up here within Shell, the Motorsports Power Motorsports Park. There you go. That's going to be a tough one for me here tonight. We'll get the wrinkles here all wrinkled out within the Silver Series. At least the first race. Remember, then we have the feature race for the Silver Series, and then have the heat race for the Gold Series on the same broadcast, and then we'll invert the top 10 for the Gold feature race. Yaron Levi after that spin earlier on. If it wasn't for that spin, I mean, 145 points. Oh, excuse me, no. It was a 147 the last lap time for Yaron as he continues to try and reel in the top 4 here. It's going to be a tough feat at a 13.3 second gap for Rodem Lev, but as I was starting to get into there, I'm curious. It's without Yaron's last lap of the 137, excuse me, the 147, yeah, that would be a feat if he was running 37s. With the 147 for Yaron, it's if we don't include that lap time, they've been relatively close to one another run another, including, Audi Goldberg as well as Jordan Levy, Goodness gracious, all over the place here. Anyways, Audi Goldberg, even though he's continuing to, he could put 3 sweeps down here, 3 race. What was that? 2 weeks ago, they're at Misano, and then another 2 weeks before that, I believe, Audi Goldberg came away with the Silver Series sweep. Will this be the 3rd sweep that we will see for the number 3 Mercedes-AMG machine? Looking at it, you could just tell by his racecraft that we're watching here. We'll hop on board with him, but I mean, he's so just smooth with it. He's not really pushing the car to its limits. We should be coming to the check flag this time by, depending on where he gets to at the start-finish line at here. Once again, no, it'll be the white flag. But yeah, that's 40 seconds too soon as we will wrap our way around and around turn number 18. Last lap here tonight for the heat race for the Silver Series. That's also a real big diffuser there, that rear end of the Mercedes-AMG. Look at it, round and around turn at number 1. With that being said, you are just glued to the racetrack here. Not only, top end aerodynamics, but as well as the rear, underneath the car aerodynamically. You got the, basically it's like an upside down wing with that rear, with the big old rear wing that you see on the Mercedes AMG. It's going to keep them glued down into the track, basically trying to vacuum them to the track surface here. Another big rear wing that you could use as a dinner plate, not quite as big as a rear diffuser, as that once again helps with that grounds effect here. As these GT3s are just, I mean, slammed so close to the racetrack here, trying to get every little tiny bit of downforce and ground effect available for these drivers. Looks like Tal Stern, if he's able to just make this a lap cleanly for this last time by, he's going to finish this first Silver Series heat race here in that 3rd running position. Once again, no top 10 inversion for Silver Series, so these drivers will start the feature race where they finish. Leron Schechter is going to be the driver of the day here within at least the heat race. Number 1 here for Silver Series. Leron gaining 3 spots as the drop of the green flag and continuing. Sure, Audi Goldberg probably slowed and woed his pace down a little bit, but there was a 14-second gap last time I looked. Leron Schechter here closing it back down to about 12 seconds here as well. Here we go, down into the checkered flag here tonight. Audi Goldberg, he's going to take it, conquer heat race number 1 in the IIL, ILAKA Esports Automotive and Karting Association. Checkered flag is out. Congratulations, Audi. He's going to work for the triple sweep here. As here comes Leron Schechter. He's going to work for P2. Here comes Tal Stern right behind him. P3. That's a gap of 1.04 seconds separating P2 and P3 at the line. Here comes Rodoblev to make P4 official here tonight for the opening race for the Silver Series. Jordan Levy, after spinning out on lap 1, turn 3 of the race, he works his way back up to P5. That'll definitely help him in the points. Ezra Raphael here making P6, makes his way past that student driver. 422 Ford Mustang, 40 from Masu's Mini Land makes P8. Rand Sassoni, he's just watching here tonight as he continues to get ready for the Gold Series just after this next heat race, feature race. We'll take a look at our starting grid here tonight. Remember, it is right where they finished, except for that driver there in the 9th position. Rand Sassoni, no, I'm just kidding. That would be fun to watch. Audi Goldberg, he's going to slap it out there in the first running position as he ran away with that first heat race. 12.1 second gap. It's all going to close down now. These drivers are going to have to work with another restart for one another. Leron Schechter, Tal Stern, rode him left there. Finished 19 seconds behind our race leader, Jordan Levy. Ezra Raphael, Ofra Mazuz, Mini Land here, rounding out our 8-driver field here for the Silver Series. All right, if you're just now joining in, first of all, welcome in, welcome in. Don't go anywhere. We have this silver feature race here, and then on the same broadcast, have the gold heat race 20 minutes, and then we're gonna invert that top 10 for the gold feature race there in just a few, probably, we'll call it about 30 moments, 40 moments time here. Anyways, Audi Goldberg, Leron Schechter here. We're going to take the short pace lap. you better start to see these drivers weave, jeep, and jive just on the pace lap here. Get on and off the brakes. Try to work at least all this temperature, all the pressures that you can within these very newly revamped GT3 tires. There you go. Now the broadcast waves are getting to it. I'm just kidding. These drivers probably know well more than me here. That iRacing safety pace car is going to make it and dive to the safety of pit lane. Here we go. Green flag is out once again here from the bend. We're at the land down under. Aldi Goldberg's going to lead him down into turn one once again. We're going to look two by two through the rest of the pack. So far, clean, calm, and cordial here. Liron Schechter up to P3. Here comes some side-by-side for Ezra Raphael, Rodem Lev, as well as Yaron Levi. He's going to make his way down and around this inside line here. He works his way back up to P6. He's going to try to start ticking off positions earlier on here. You can't let the field run away from you. Oh boy, I thought that was going to be a move there made for Mini Land, but he's going to think better of it here. We'll go back and up to the battle for the race lead. Look at Schechter here. He's going to retain within striking distance. As long as you can retain within that sort of slipstream and draft that you have there, I would not count out Schechter. The pace differential was immaculate at the end of our heat race for the Silver Series, 12.9 seconds to be exact. As Tal Stern's gonna run a little bit wide. You gotta be careful there, because you will do what the Ford Mustang there just did to Rodem Lev. He runs wide. He's gonna lose that speed and momentum going down there into turn 6 and 7, I do believe. Here comes Yaron Levi here. He's gonna make the crossover work. He's gonna look down the inside line. He's got it squared up here. Not quite clear. Oh no, contact made with Rodem Lev. Rodem with the save of a century. Oh, I spoke too soon. Ezra Raphael also involved. Ezra puts his head down. He's going to just try and make it. I don't know if we're probably going to see him pit or not, as the front end of that McLaren GT3 has been destroyed. Here's a quick replay of it here. Here's the side-by-side. We were making it work, and then there's the contact there. I'm not sure who you'd put that on, really, if Rodem Lev came down there on the quarter panel of Levy, or if it was vice. You can call that what you will here. I'm going to keep my job up here in the booth. We see Terry down there saying that she likes the view from inside. Matter of fact, that's what we're going to take here, as Rodem Lev just had pretty much nowhere to go. Okay, so he's got the wheel turned into it there pretty hard here, and then we'll take a look at Levy here. Okay, apologies here. We're going to fast forward to the incident, and then now we're going to hop on board with Rodem Lev. Yeah, he kept his foot in it. You got to shout him out there for that. I mean, I know that drivers are probably wanting other drivers to hold their brake, though, but for Rodem Lev, he had that saved until it just snapped down and are out around the outside. Liron Schechter here continuing to close that gap for Aldi Goldberg for the lead here. This is the top three. This is the final driver interview. Excuse me, this is the second to final. Really, the race lead for battle up here for grabs. What I'm trying to get at here is the top three drivers are interviewed here after this feature race for the Silver Series. Liron Schechter, he continues to retain within striking distance. It's gonna be hard here to retain within the slipstream distance, though, as I would put that gap at about 0.7, but now as Liron really kind of botched the exit down there out of turn number 18. We're going to have to see if he has what it takes between the more technical portion of the track here as we head it down into turns number 1, 2, and 3 here from the land down under. Don't look now, but Tal Stern, he's going to continue to gain some ground here. Started up here within the third running position for this feature race for the Silver Series. Continue to run just there. Right now, Yaron Levi, though, he's got his head down. Driver of the 303 already gaining one spot here tonight since the drop of this green flag within the feature race. He works his way back up to P4. He's going to try to put this gap and close it down for that final driver interview spot. Get Tal Stern reeled back in. We're going to hop on board here with Yaron Levi. Mr. Tal Stern, you can go ahead and compare and contrast here. Live driver camera versus virtual. Got a feel here for another driver that's with our driver cams here, Ezra Raphael. If you take a look at his driver cam, that is the time delta bar right underneath his rear view mirror. And with this much damage here, Ezra just has no downforce, no sort of long straightaway speed here as well. He is just fighting there as the delta is going to get reset. Finally makes his way across the start finish line. He's opting to stay out. He's got that 4.3 second gap over Mini Land here. And Ezra, if you're listening, Mini just put down a 1:48.8. Your last lap was a 1:49.06. Ezra doesn't have to listen. This information is available for these drivers. Raphael knows that Mr. Land is coming with a head of steam here tonight. Back up here to the battle for the race lead. I was begging for mercy earlier on there for Schechter to at least retain within, you could call it what is DRS gap there. It's really not DRS, it's just slipstream that these GT3s have available. So many revamps within the different iRacing seasons here, especially recently. I believe the last season revamp was completely new aerodynamic features and really trying to get them more closer to their real life counterparts. And then the most recent season, as I've said time and time again, it has been with the tire model here. You got to really baby these tires, something that we've seen within the oval leagues that I broadcast time and time again. Now that these tires are pretty well simulated to their real life counterparts, you have to, first of all, you can't push them too early because you will be begging for mercy here at the end of the stint, as well as you have to make sure you once again work the temperatures, work the pressures into these newly revamped GT3 tires earlier on in the race, because like we saw at lap 1, turn number 3 of Silver Heat race right before this one, we saw a driver that I thought could possibly have what it takes here to hold Uddy Goldberg at least to a P2. Well, Yaron Levy here, after making that spin, unfortunately last race he had to start all the way back here in the 5th spot here for our feature for Silver Series, because we don't have that top 10 inversion like we do see for the Gold Series. So Yaron Levy, he's going to gain 1 spot since the drop of the green flag, but really at this point there's really just he's gonna have to bite the bullet, just wait for 2 weeks time for our next race. Tal Stern, real quick, we have to shout out the league owner here for IIL. Tal, shout out, because not only is he just a great, immaculate, clean racing driver here, but he has set up all of these sessions, and we have worked from different vehicle type. I mean, time and time again. I believe I started with this league when we were with the open wheel, just rookie cars here. We've worked up into some LMP3 action here. We've worked up into some, well, down, you could call it, into some GT3s. It is just completely different racing styles from one another, and we're definitely going to talk about this quite a few times within the Gold Series. I know Rancisoni has brought it up a few times himself. It's just completely different racing styles within these different cars that we have to run. By the time that these drivers are really able to get I do say get it down there, I do mean find the pace that they're relatively looking for, well, by then it's the end of the season and we're going to switch up the cars once again. I have now heard Tal Stern is opting for the free NASCAR to go road course racing next season. That's going to be one to watch. I'm just kidding. No, Tal would never torture his drivers like that. But I will say that would definitely be fun to watch. I might have to throw a little hosted race up here, see what drivers can try and tackle the old heavy horsepower, heavy stock car, very heavy horsepower machines. I would be out there I would be down there with you guys out there on track. So no broadcast, there would be no sorts of humiliation going on. I'd like to see who has the old pace down there. Speaking of who has the pace, though, Ollie Goldberg here tonight, driver number 3. Man, oh man, he's starting to put that 3-second gap together here. We're only 10 minutes down within this feature race, halfway down, halfway to go. We'll shoot you guys sights and sounds last time at it here for the Silver Series. Go ahead, crank this puppy up, enjoy these GT3 engines roaring to life. I'll be right back with you up here in the booth. Cranks this puppy down very slowly before I get a little bit too excited because, man, how about that? Got on Levi down, out, and around. Don't know if you caught it on the driver cams as Rand starts to get ready for his race. He was giggle monster in the cams. I'm not sure if he's just excited, nervous, or what that was. Oh, man. Levi takes just a bite out of that sausage curve. Down and around, that'll send him. Maybe if we take a look at this a little bit more slower motion here. Hopefully not, but Yadon Levi might get his pilot's license here tonight. Ooh, he's lucky that suspension was going to work on the right side. Keeps his car planted on the keeps all 4 tires planted on the racetrack. It'll send him for a little, almost a 360 there. He'll keep it back moving and grooving. Goldberg leads Scheckter here by 4.8 seconds. Not quite the gap that we've seen here for the Silver Series, at least in heat race number 1 here. Here comes Tal Stern, though, 3.6 seconds back. Although the gaps have really started to form here, I would say that these drivers right now just have to get down and around and basically to the start-finish line safely here with, well, even 8 minutes to go. We've seen quite a few times here. That is a feat that's a little bit easier said than done from this tight technical Shell V Power Motorsports Park here. 18 different turns, 5 kilometers to work with. Ollie Goldberg, he made the double sweep happen, remember. 2 weeks ago he won, 4 weeks ago he swept him. We're about to see, for the 3rd race in a row, a double sweep action. We're continuing to rewrite the history books here on the SSN and IIL YouTube channels. I don't want to speak too soon and give the Sean and Tater curse code because here comes Leron Scheckter. He's, oh man, it was 3.8 seconds last time I said it, which is maybe even, I mean, on this same lap here, and Scheckter within, oh, he dropped to 8.3, but then he drops it back down to 5.3. Here's a look at the lap time differential between these two. Take a look at lap 8. That'll be kind of the do-all, tell-all there. Oh, excuse me. There we go. Oh, okay. Well, Scheckter still 1.3 seconds slower. It's not even a game of cat and mouse at this point. It's just a game of putting down, not even qualifying laps either, just safe laps here. Keep yourself on track. Keep your tires right where they need to be on this asphalt. And just don't try to find yourself down, out, and around. Tal Stern looks like he's going to, Once again, I don't want to speak too early here, but just over 5 minutes to go left in the race. Looks like final driver interview spot should be solidified if Levy cannot make up any more time here as he continues. He's trying to. You can see him pushing it ever so, I mean, not slightly, but ever so much here at 303 machine. Doesn't really have too much to lose here at this point. Has already gone back down and around. He's got 12-second gap in front, a 23-second gap behind. Really don't blame him yet on here for just trying to do everything that he can. Man, oh man, Odie Goldberg, 6.6-second gap. As you see there on the bottom ticker, we actually have Rodem Lev leading us off in the points. Ito Tal and Leron Schechter. So that's, I'm honestly pretty surprised here. I know that Odie, I think he skipped out on the first 1 to 2 races here within the season, so that's why we don't see him within really the front runners here. But real quick, we'll take another look at the point standings here. All right, so once again, well, we'll have to scroll this up. Oh, okay. okay. Apologies for that. Okay, we'll have to scroll this up. There we see it. Rodem Lev, Ito Tal, Leron Schechter there, our front 3 runners within the points. Where is Odie Gold? Look at him. He's all the way down in 8th position there. You got 3 bonus points. Goodness, 16 penalties for driver 7th in the standings right there from Mini Land. But Odie Goldberg, I think that's just, missing the front 2 races there. That's why he's so far down within the point standings here. And I know a lot of the Gold Series drivers and fans have now started to join in on the broadcast here as we start to get ready for that one. We'll take a look at the Gold Series points. Alon Gabay, Yuval Merrick, as well as Daniel Berezowski leading those top 3 within the points. But don't look now. Ayeli, as well as Rancis Sony, Itzik Grossman, Yossi Gabay, Matty Rosen right there with them in the top 8 for the point standings within the Gold category. All right, back up here, looking driver P2, Leron Schechter. I would possibly give driver of the race here. I believe he started 4th or 5th within our heats race. Now he's back here all the way back up to P2 where he finished the heat race. This is going to be a really nice points run once again here for the Schechter machine. Real quick, I appreciate you all joining in here tonight on SSN and IIL YouTube channels. Be sure that you can subscribe here, Sam Studio Network. We are on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Once we reach it, we have merch. We're going to be giving away a lot of it. We have t-shirts, we have keychains, we have koozies, we have more that you can imagine. Be sure that you stick down, out, and around. And although the first subscriber is as most important as the 792nd subscriber here, you all just mean the world to me here. This is what keeps the old SSN world going around here. Racers world's going to keep going around as Odie Goldberg. Man, he's going to possibly do it here tonight. Should be coming to, it depends on when he will reach the start-finish line here once again, but should be coming to at least 2 laps to go this time by Leron Schechter. The gap is not as much as it was for the heat race here for the Silver Series, but as we continue to look at Leron here, Mini Land had an incident. He'd gone off the track. Oh man, that's 180 degrees of steering wheel input there. Just trying to do everything he can. Is Mini Land just trying to find a little bit more rotation in there as he's trying to reel in Ezra Raphael, even with the front end, I mean the bumper that is no longer to be found here. Probably a lucky fan had gone home with it, put it on the old man cave wall there. Ezra Raphael, you got to shout him out here. He continues to find, not the pace, but just continue to run on the racetrack. Still continuing to retain that 5th running spot over Mini Land as we're going to approach just our final minute to 2 minutes left to go here as Odie Goldberg should be making his way downtown here for the second to final time here tonight. Here we go, just like last heat race here, Odie Goldberg, he's going to make his way across the start-finish line with a 30-second gap differential to when the timer runs out. So this is the white flag here tonight. All of these drivers, although it's an easier said than done task, well, it's 16 turns now, but 18 turns for every single one of these rest of the drivers that have to make their way down and across this very tough, treacherous 5-kilometer long track here from the land down under. Odie Goldberg looks like he is possibly going to be able to rewrite some iRacing history here tonight. Leron Schechter, we continue to see just run within the track limits. He's got just about 14, coming to 13 more turns this time by. To make this all official, Tal Stern, he's going to run in the final driver interview spot for the Silver Series. Stick with us here on Stay Home Studio Network right after this race. During the intermission, we'll get these top 3 drivers interviewed from Silver Series. What a nice run here for the front 3 runners. What a nice run for really every driver here tonight to make it all. Really, it's a tough, treacherous track. One that I don't have too many laps to put on here. It's a very tough track. I have tried it here myself in preparation of the race here tonight. I don't know how these drivers are putting down it. I mean, their best lap times 1:43s damn near here. But how about it? Odie Goldberg, he just needs to make it all happen here for about 4 to 3 more final turns here. It's again easier said than done, but with a 9.3 second gap, will we see the triple Goldberg action happen here tonight? It's a bird, it's a plane, it's Odie Goldberg to back to back to back to victory lane. Congratulations, Goldberg, on a feat that I don't think will be beaten here once again in the IIL Silver Series. Leron Schechter is going to bring it home P2. Here comes Tal Stern flashing the flashies across the start-finish line. Stern's going to bring it home P3 here tonight. Yadon Levi, goodness gracious, back and forth here tonight for him as well as his last names out of my mouth up here in the old broadcast booth. Levy will bring it home there in the P4 running position. Ezra Raphael looks like he's going to hold off that R-charging Miniland, even though the sectors were close, the lap times were close. It's going to come down to turn 17 and 18 here tonight. Miniland closes the gap 7/10 of a second. It'll come down to, give it to Ezra Raphael, top 5 position here tonight. Miniland's going to take and capture P6. Rodham Lev will take away P7, and Ofer Mazuz will take away P8 here tonight. Congratulations, drivers. Thank you all race fans for joining in here tonight, and stick with us here. Same broadcast. We're going to get these drivers top 3 interviewed here on Silver Series on SSN, and then same broadcast. We'll get the Gold Series fired up here. I'll be right back with you here on SSN. Thank you all for joining here for the Silver Series. Hey, Odie Goldberg, this is Sean Stam up here in the broadcast booth. I'm down here at Virtual Victory Lane. Mr. Goldberg, you got yourself a copy.
Hey Sean, how you doing?
I am doing great, man. How are you doing, most importantly, man? Back to back to back to Victory Lane here for you.
Yeah, I'm doing great. I've had a good race. In qualifying, I had a good lap. And then in the race, I just made sure to set the fastest lap and then maintain my tires for the whole race and stay consistent. And that's like true for both races. And this is it.
Goodness, that was about a 14-second gap there in the heat race, coming about to a 10-second gap there for the feature. Goodness gracious, I mean, I know you just said it, it just comes down to putting down clean and steady qualifying laps here, even within the race, but congratulations on the race win here, Odie. Is there anybody who'd like to shout out or makes this all possible for you, man?
would like to shout out all the guys that race here. It's really nice driving with them. And that's it. Yeah.
Well, Odie, it's been so fun to watch you here. This is definitely going to help you continue to gain some points here as we continue to crest towards the end of the season here. Congratulations once again on your win here tonight, and we'll see you 2 weeks' time, man.
Yeah, thank you. Have a good night.
Yeah, you do the same. Thank you. Alrighty, stick with us here. I'm gonna jump sessions over on into the Gold Series. I'll be right back with you here on SSN.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome in, everyone, to the ILAKA GT3 Gold Series. Coming to you tonight from the sweeping turns of Shell v Power Motorsport Park. Of course, running the international circuit layout here tonight. The Gold Division is where the very best of ILAKA's GT3 talent goes head-to-head, and tonight's format is designed to turn the insanity dial all the way up. We're gonna see these cold tires get pretty wild on these race restarts here. Qualifying just now finishing up. Before we take a look at qualifying results live from virtual track side, we'll take a look at the point standings here tonight for our Gold Series. Alon Gabai there, he's up there in the 136 range in the points, starting to slowly crawl away from it here, but don't count out Yuval Merrick. He's had the pace, he's had the racecraft here so far this season, well retaining himself within that second position of the points. Daniel Berezowski, Ayeli Kanavexi, oh god, Ayeli, I'm so sorry there, give me one more chance. Rancisoni, Itzit Grossman, Yossi Gabai, Matt Rosen, Rodham Katz, Ignacio Glumser, Omri Farag, Sisian Baba. Oh goodness gracious, we got a bunch of drivers here within the point standings for Gold Series. Aaron Delitsky, Mark Zuberdev, Dima Medvedik, Dror Last, Yuval Rosen, Ido Bastian, Tomir Ventura, as well as Tom Rappaport rounding up the top 20 within the point standings for Gold Series. Alrighty, now as we can cut live to virtual trackside action, before we do get started, I appreciate you all joining in here tonight on STAM Studio Network as well as the IIL YouTube channels. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers here on SSN, so be sure you tell your grandma, you tell your kitty cat, you tell your little neighbor there, man, tell them all there. Subscribe to STAM Studio Network as we will have merchandise being pretty much given away there once we do hit that 1,000 subscriber mark. I'm talking shirts, keychains, koozies, etc. here. With qualifying just now rounding up, we'll take a look at the... Oh, we don't have the starting grid just yet because qualifying is just now rounding up. What we can look at, though, this is something pretty special. We have Rancisoni. He's out here live putting his qualifying laps down. Here is Ran, live driver left side of the driver cam. Yuval Merrick, he's got his only fan down, excuse me, his biggest fan down there only with him. He is just waiting anxiously for the green flag to drop here tonight. There you see it, qualifying time is up here. We'll take a look at the race grid here, brought to you by STAM Studio Network. Yuval Merrick, that's why he's so nervous, man. What's down a 145.537. What a lap time for Merrick there. as he's going to have a Yaley there joining him up on the front row, excuse me, there. It's at Grossman. You're going to put it down just over a half of a second. Slower than our pole sitter there, 0.6 seconds. Slower than him to be exact. How about Yossi Gabai there, excuse me. He'll start on the outside row of row number 2. Row number 3 belonging to Rodham Cats, Mark Zubarev. Row number 4, they're 7th and 8th. Ignacio Glumser, Iran Delitsky, Omri Farag, Ido Balstan, Jor Last, and Ran Sassoni. Man, oh man, Ran missed the mark there in qualifying. Looks like Dima Medvedik will round out our 13 driver field here tonight for the Gold Series. Okay, very short pace lap that we're going to have to work with here tonight. So these drivers, don't be alarmed that you're going to start to see some weaving, jeeving, some driving earlier on, even on the pace lap here tonight. We have to get these temperatures and tire pressures up to operating conditions, especially within this newer model of GT3 tire that iRacing has released. Things will get pretty wild pretty fast here. Only 2 turns until the green flag. We have one heat race here tonight for the Gold Series, and then we're gonna take the top 10. We're gonna invert them. So the driver who finishes, excuse me, in the 10th position, well, they're gonna start this race up on the pole, at least for our feature race. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Get up, stand up for your life. Don't give up the fight. We've waited 2 weeks for it. We are green flag racing from the land down under. Yuval Merrick is going to lead him down there cleanly into turn 1. We're going to start to look side by side there between Yossi Gabai as well as Rodham Cats. He's going to start to join the battle as well, but it's Sid Grossman there. 3 Ford Mustangs taking the lead earlier on here tonight from Shell V Power Motorsports Park. Here comes a Yaley. He's going to look down the inside as we got one down around in the back behind the field there, excuse me, there. Still side by side. Looks like Yuval Merrick. He's going to try the outside line here. You can't fault him of it. Oh no, Yuval! Oh no, it's actually not Yuval. I thought I had the Mustang switched up. That's actually going to be a Yaley who finds themselves down out and around. I was so scared of it because Yuval, he mentioned to me before this race, these GT3 tires, as cold as they are, it's like you're on a knife's edge here. That is once again underselling it as 2. That's the second time here tonight on lap 1. We have seen a GT3 down out and around early on in this race, at least for contention. We'll have to see if a Yaley is able to, excuse me, make his way up into the top 10th spot there, because once again we do have that top 10 driver inversion here, as well as that was Omri Farag, who was also, I don't know if he got help with it there, but that was into turns 1, 2, and 3. That Farag machine, that was a Porsche 911, number 997, down out and around early on. Here's a replay of it here as he goes down and underneath the cameraman there, up with the old drone camera shot. Well, that's not a self-induced spin there for Omri, and he had, man, you hate that up until I think that was Ido Balstan who came up there through it and just barely nicked his front bumper there. There's another look at it well, actually we're going to slow this down because that was contact with the drawer last machine, I do believe. Look at Omri. He really tries to set up the corner here, tries to get the entrance down, and just, well, he's not clear. The number 55 there of drawer last was definitely, excuse me, that's Ido Balstan, was definitely down and around the inside. As we continue to work our way through some green flag conditions here, here's what happened to, I thought it was Yuval, but it was actually a Yaley here. I don't think there was contact. We'll take one more look at it here, but it's going to send him down around in front of the pack. All of these drivers are able to make some pretty nice evasive action here to miss the spinning a Yaley. Here we go one more time, slowing it down. Is there contact between what was the front 2 race runners at the moment? No, definitely not, man. Yuval is door quarter clear by a kilometer there. Yossi Gabai, he's going to continue to work his way up into the 2nd running position. Here comes Sid Grossman to join the battle as well. We're actually going to hop on board with the driver of Rodham Cats here, as he is really within the meat of the sandwich. I love this onboard shot here. I think so does Terry down there live in the old YouTube band. This really starts to put in perspective what these drivers are dealing with lap in and lap out here from the very, very technical Shell V Power Motorsports part here from Australia. Watching it live here on SSN and IIL here. I appreciate every single one of you joining in here. We're only 3.5, 4 minutes into this race here. Still seeing some very, very nice battles start to ensue here. 13 drivers have made it out here on the racetrack. Rand Delitsky, he's got Rand Sassoni. Look at Rand, he's gonna dive it down the inside. Here's an onboard shot of him here. Rand, haven't seen him blink within the last lap or two. Oh, he's not gonna make it work into turn one. Well, we see the crossover move here as Rand tries to set up the crossover though. Here comes Mark Zubarev in that McLaren GT3 as well. Rand, he tries to find the speed and the momentum early on here tonight from Shell V-Power Motorsports Park. 18 turns to work with, 5-kilometer long track from the international circuits here. Rand continues to find himself within the meat of the sandwich, as I would call him driver of the day early on, gaining 5 spots since the drop of the green flag. You know what I just noticed for race leader? Look at Yuval Merrick's race wheel there. I don't know if it's just perspective of the camera or what, but that thing is massive. That's bigger than the old NASCAR wheel I got in my simulator there. Yuval, maybe that's what I need to find some pace in some GT3 cars. I'm just kidding. That's Yuval with just every inch and every sort of amount of racecraft and race respect for one another. Well, right now he's also showing us that he's got something else. He's got that race pace here tonight. He's looking like Uddy Goldberg there, who took away the triple win action here. Here's some 2 side-by-sides. Oh, we're going to single file him out there. Itzik Grossman makes it up to P3. Rodham Katz drops back to P4. There's Ignacio Glumser. Actually, I think Ignacio Glumser was lost out on that battle there. As here we go, side by side once again. Rand Delitsky, Rand Sassoni here, starting to single file it out across the start finish line. While we start to see, look at these drivers breaking the draft here. This is how much they just try to run away from each other. Here is, well, now side by side once again here. Rodham Katz, Ignacio Glumser. Ignacio tries to switch back there. Oh, he doesn't make it work on corner entry. Will we see it work on corner exit though? Look at the Ford Mustangs here starting to hound the top 3 here. Ford Mustang first, third, 5th, 7th, all odd numbers right there. If Ayeli is able to make his way back and up to the 9th position, that'd be pretty fun to watch here. Man, oh man, this is pretty fun to watch here. Ignacio with the save of a century. Oh my goodness gracious, excuse me, that was Rand Sassoni with the save of the century. He's still down and around the inside line. Lots of these drivers, they compete with one another, not only within the sim, but also on the karting universe, also within the real-life racing universe. Rand Sassoni, man, oh man, and Rand Delitsky here are putting on a battle of the century here on SSN tonight. Now we're going to start to look single file once again, but for how long? Because if these drivers start to do battle once again, here comes Mark Zubarev. He's lost 2 spots since the drop of the green flag here tonight. I know I called it Red Bull Racing Inspired Paint Scheme. I can't. Is it an elephant, Mark? You gotta help me out there. 030. The only McLaren GT3 out here on track. He's found himself up to P8. Here comes Ido Balstan. He's gained a spot since the drop of the green flag here tonight. His Jor Last and Ayeli Kanovicki there. It's once again, I love you, Ayeli here, but you gotta help me out here with the old. I know I have the pronunciation, so I guess it's on me at this point. Anyways, we're gonna keep things moving and grooving here. Jor Last, Ayeli, he's gonna try to draw a bead there up to, Ayeli's gonna try to draw a bead up to Jor Last here into turn 1. We've seen this be a really nice braking zone and passing zone opportunity here tonight. Ayeli doesn't quite get the grip and braking force down there within the Ford Mustang to make a move. Real quick, if you're just now joining us, here is what happened to Ayeli. This is Yuval and Ayeli going at it here, side by side up for the race lead. This is the same corner that we saw an incident in our lap 1, turn 1 for our heat race for Silver Series. Excuse me, this is lap 1, turn 3 for Silver, as well as the Gold Series. Same turn there, same story. Ayeli's going to go around, drops back to P11. He's only, 0.25 seconds back, Jor Last right here. So as he continues to fight, not only is he continuing to fight for his right to party, he's continuing to fight for his right to start on the pole position for our feature race for the Gold Series here tonight from Shell V Power Motorsports Park. Real quick here, I'm going to treat you guys and gals to the sights and sounds here. Listen to these GT3 engines roar to life. My name is Sean Stan. I'll be right back with you up here in the booth. Crank it back down. Ito Balstan around. So is Jor Last. Right when we were hopping on board with him. Excuse me, that is the second time I've called Jor Last in an incident he's not in. That's Mark Zubarev and Ito Balstan. You think I could tell by the paint scheme there? Two drivers. That was definitely, I'm not sure about you, but I think I saw Ito Balstan turn into a pilot there. Definitely got his pilot's license as he got his ground clearance off of that sausage turn heading into the tight, treacherous turn number 1 here. Here's a slow-mo replay of it here. Brake rotors aglow, right sides. Oh, he had 3 tires off the racetrack, did Balstan there. Hard into the outside of, well, really would have been the inside of Mark Zubarev there. You got a feel for Mark. He was having a really nice race going for him earlier on. Down and around, pretty much out of this race, it'll seem now. Here's another look at it. I'll leave it to speed this time by, just so it shows it justice. I mean, look at the... Yeah, okay, sorry, I went quiet. I wanted you to hear the old tires squealing for life here. Back to some racing action, though. This is live right now. Going to look like a Yaley and Jor Last still continuing to go at it here. Right now separated by 0.4 of a second. I think a Yaley just got the spot. Here's a quick replay of it. So Jor Last, he's going to, that's that very vibrant yellow Lamborghini that you see. I think that's possibly a point buy for Jor Last, saying, hey, I know how fast you are, Yaley. You can go ahead and take it down around the inside. Doing that's something that I find myself doing quite a bit. Oh man, yeah, shows you how much pace I have myself within the GT3 car. But with giving a point by, not only are you just helping your buddy out there, you are finding yourself, I mean, you're losing very, very minimal time there to the car behind you. This is all 4 positions here. Speaking of all 4 positions here, Ignacio Glumpser, he's going to try the inside line here. I'm not sure that's going to work. We're going to trade some paint there. Rodham Katz gets shoved wide there as Rancesoni just had a front row view of that out of his windscreen. Ran, I know you're focused here, but probably has the popcorn bucket out here. Rodham Katz is not going to be too happy. So I wouldn't call this battle quite over yet here. But Ignacio Glumpser, you better put your head down as you're going to try to start to run away from Rodham Katz after a little bit of contact on your left side. Little bit of contact on Rodham Katz's right side. Here we're going to look at Dima Medvednic's incident here. The BMW Big Sniff machine. Only BMW who's made it out here tonight. Well, that was self-induced. We'll try to carry a bit too much speed there. That's all right. It happens to the best of us here. We'll get back to some, once again, live racing action here. Here's going to be the battle between Ignacio Glumpser, Rodham Katz. Ignacio finds himself meat in the sandwich right now as here comes Rancesoni starting to put the bead to him here for heat race number 1. Let's see what Rancesoni does here on the long back straightaway heading into turn 1. Hop on board and listen to this Ford Mustang roar to life here. Foot 40 kilometers an hour heading into, I believe that was turn number 4 and 5 that time by. As we take another look at Dima just real quick. I thought he had gone off track again, but looks like he is A-okay, lives to fight another day. Real quick, here's this battle once again. Rand Sassoni, Rodham Katz, Ignacio Glumster, another Ford Mustang. I mean, American power here tonight, running first, third, fourth, sixth, and eighth. Man, oh man, we can. I wouldn't doubt if we see just 2 weeks' time, if we start to see all these drivers with some, at least Fords and some Mercedes AMGs, because that's really been the cream that we see start to rise to the top within this very recent update to the GT3 cards here within the iRacing universe. We're 14 minutes down, coming to 6 minutes left to go within the heat race here. Then we're going to invert our top 10. How about Itzik Grossman here tonight, ladies and gentlemen? Another Ford Mustang. He's got the Bumblebee colors rocking. He's got yellow and black, all plastered over the number 4. Continues to run third position, but for how long? Here comes Ignacio Glumser. He's well within the draft and slipstream range here. Will we see a move being made here into turn number 1? We saw it quite a few times being made into Silver Series. Nope, these braking zones a little bit more alike here tonight. Looks like Itzik, he's able to find his braking zone relatively well there. Here comes Rodham Katz, Rand Sassoni. Rand's gonna try to dive it down the inside line. Matter of fact, he's there. These drivers are door even with one another. What happens as we head down into the more technical, treacherous portion of the track here? Sassoni, he's locked around that outside line. Will we see him take it down into turns 3 and 4? Looks like it. Door, quarter clear. Sassoni up to P5. Contact for 3rd and 4th here. This is what would be the final driver interview spot up for grabs if this was the feature race. We're only heat racing it here for the Gold Series. Right before the feature, though, Itzik Grossman finds his way up and finally clear for 3rd position. That was a little bit of beating, a little bit of banging there for 3 GT3 drivers. We'll make our way down across 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th right now. You could throw a blanket over here from Shelby Power Motorsports Park. Ignacio Glumser, he is not done with it here just yet. He's going to try the inside line once again. He's got it so far. That's the racing line that you'd want. Door quarter clear as it sends it's Grossman off the racing line here. Rand Sassoni, he's going to try to make a 2 for 1. Oh, Rand sends the 4 around. Itzik Grossman hard into the outside wall there. No tire barrier. That rear end of that Ford Mustang is all crinkled up. Seen better days. ILAKA machine. Itzik Grossman not going to be happy after contact from Rand Sassoni. Take another look at it here. We'll slow and woe this puppy down. Rand, he made it across the outside line relatively earlier on. Oh, man. Okay. Apologies. We're going to have to back this one up one more time. Okay. Well, you see Rand's left side's there. He has to get back on the racetrack. And he gets back on the racetrack maybe at the 3 or 4 centimeters too much there. Just the slightest misjudgment, I think, is what sends Itzik Grossman around. But I don't know who you necessarily put that on as... Well, I mean, we're battling for every sort of inch, every centimeter here tonight. Here's a look at Itzik Grossman's on board as we'll hop on board with him as this is happening. Just listen in here. Golly, hard, heavy contact here earlier on in the race for, at least this is only the heat race here, so we'll have another feature to go at it, but with Itzik Grossman well within the outside running spots here for the top 10 and 10 and above. Looks like Omri Farag right now, if he will continue to withhold Mark Zubrev for the 10th running spot. That's easier said than done, though, because look, Omri, he doesn't have a front bumper right now for the MF Racing machine. You know who does have a front bumper and showing some real nice pace? Matter of fact, 2.5 seconds faster last lap by Mark Zubrev. Will we see for probably the 2nd to 3rd time here within IIL and SSN history? Will Mark Zubrev start here within the pole running spot here for the feature race here within the top 10 conversions? We're looking at 3 laps to go here tonight for our heat race. Rodham Katz running P5. Here's Iran Delitsky. Ayeli Kinovicki is... Ayeli, I'm trying here, buddy. Goodness, yeah, I'm trying. These drivers all continue to run 3 and 4 tenths within of a second. A little bit contact there between the 6 and the 646. That is goodness, a Ferrari, I was going to call it. That is Ferrari versus Porsche there. These drivers, well, after making contact, they were merging into the same manufacturer there, but we'll keep things split up here. Ferrari so far continuing to lead that Porsche 911. Driver number 6, Iran Delitsky, up to P6 right now. Matvey Meerman here saying, yeah, he is using the round Moza wheel. It is pretty big. Well, if you're just now joining, this is what Matvey is talking about here. Look at, I mean, I got a pretty big wheel here because I have not given up the NASCAR wheel, the Fanatec CSL Elite one. But man, you felt like he can't even touch his thumb to his index finger there. That wheel is just massive, but I might be speaking too soon here. I mean, look at this. I think that is how I'm gonna need to find some pace in a GT3 car, because if anybody knows how it's done, well, it's the MF Racing driver of Yuval Merrick. He is working a 6.5 second gap right now. We haven't seen him blink for about a lap or two. This IIL aka Ford Mustang up to the lead. Here we have P2 coming across the start finish line here to take the white flag lap here. Yossi Gabay, Ignacio Glumser, Rancesoni still knocking on, well, excuse me, that's Rotem Katz who's knocking on Rancesoni's back bumper here. Drivers 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th starting to go nose to tail here for the white flag lap for the heat race number 1 for Gold Series. Ooh, Rancesoni. This has been his passing zone here tonight. Excuse me, that's not going to be Rancesoni. That was actually Iran Delitsky there. Excuse me, that was Iran Delitsky who had made contact there with Rotem Katz. Ended up sending the Katz Mao machine around there. That Katz machine has seen better days. Here's a real quick replay of it there. Just going to send him right down and around. Thankfully not into the sands, though. Rotem, oh, it is in the sands. Rotem, we are racing here tonight. We're not playing at the beach. Get yourself down, out, and around back on the racetrack here. As what will be Yuval Merrick leading us to the checkered flag. This time by, he's just got 3 more turns to make this all official, and then he will take the points. He will run away with the points here tonight. As a matter of fact, even might have come away with the race lead in that point standings versus Elon Gabay here, as Elon had not made it to the racetrack here tonight. So if Yuval, this is going to be a tremendous help in the points, as well as depending on how his feature race starts and finishes off just in about 5 minutes time. That will be the determining factor. But for right now, Yuval Merrick, how about you? Driver 25, Ford Mustang, IIL, ILAKA machine. Checkered flag is out. Heat race number 1 in the books. Flashy McFlasherson, Yossi Gabay here. He'll take P2. Ignacio Glumser, Rancesoni barely just outside of the top 3. But once again, this is only for the heat. It's where the feature race starts to ensue there, and then we will start to take a look, and we will hear from the top 3 drivers from the Gold Series feature race. We heard from race winner Odie Goldberg after his Silver Series back-to-back victories for him. Well, you will have to see if this is what we will see from, well, it won't be Yuval here. Sure, he won a heat race number 1 for gold just 2 weeks ago from Misano, but did not finish within the top 7 for the feature race for gold just 2 weeks ago. Here comes Dima Medvednik as well as Itzik Grossman down and around to complete their heat race here tonight. We're gonna get the top 10 inverted. We're gonna get the live top 3 driver interviewed after this feature race here in 20 minutes time. Stick with us here. Top 10 inversion is coming up on Stand Studio Network. Yuval Merrick, Yossi Gabay, Ignacio Glumser finishing top 3. Alrighty, well that was a quick one. You can and you let us know who your race picks are to win here in this feature race for the Gold Series. Omri Farag, he's going to start it out there on pole after that 10th finishing position. Ido Bastan, drawer last. Rotem Katz, Ayeli, Iran, ran Ignacio Yossi, Yuval Merrick, Mark Zubrev, and Dima Medvedik rounding out the top 12, and we'll have Itzik Grossman rounding out our 13 driver field here tonight. Just to wait for these drivers to approach their way down into victory lane. Omri Farag, will he have what it takes to hold off this 13 driver field 20-minute race? We have two Porsche 911s that will lead a Lamborghini as well as a Ferrari in that second row. And then we're going to have those very, very fast Ford Mustangs. We've seen their pace not even within the ILAKA Esports and Karting League, but as well as pretty much every other GT3 league that I do broadcast here on SSN. Race fans, though, right now, I'm going to ask you very nicely, get up, stand up for your life, don't give up the fight. The iRacing safety pace car. He is going to make his way down into the safety of pit lane. Omri Farag, MF Racing leads us on the throttle. Up and through the gears we go here tonight from the only Shell V-Power Motorsports Park. We're going to look 3 wide into turn 1. How does this transpire and ensue here? Ford Mustang, Ido Baustan all the way up there to him as well. Here comes Rancesoni. Oh, 3 wide. Oh no, hang on to it. Oh, we got a big one happening here. Ido Baustan involved, Mark Zubrev involved. Itzik Grossman is able to make his way through it. Here goes Josie goodbye. He's gonna say goodbye on his chances to winning here tonight. We're gonna make our way up into the front 2 runners once again here. Dror Last continuing to run away with it. How about Rancesoni? He somehow finds his way cleanly through this race start. Yuval Merrick, he made it known to me he was very, very cautious and scared of this race restart here for the feature race within these top 10 drivers all being inverted. Yuval looks like he makes it away with no damage. So does Rancesoni. Looks like Rodham Katz is able to make it way down into the 3rd running position as he'll gain a spot earlier on. Here comes a battle for the race lead. Dror Last gives the point by. Rancesoni to the race lead here tonight. Oh, what a sin there. Holy move. I think Dror Last saw that one coming. Here comes some 3 wide here. We'll settle it back down and run 2 wide here on the exit. Dror Last, Rodham Katz, Ignacio Glumser with the move of a century here. Rodham Katz still trying to make a move down to the inside line. Will he have what it takes here? Here comes Dima Medvedik. He was able to make it across the snowball and avalanche effect that had transpired there into turns number 2 and 3 across the opening lap here. We're going to complete the opening lap here, and Rancesoni is going to come away with the race lead so far. There's Ignacio Glumser up to P2. Dror Last, Yuval Merrick. Yuval starting to already battle his way up into the P5 and 4th running spots here. Ford Mustang on that rear bumper. He makes the crossover, the switchback work into the tight technical portion of the track here. Side by side behind him, side by side as well. Here comes Yuval Merrick. Rodham Katz, Rooster Tails gravel out the rear end of his machine as he gets pushed off the racing line here. Here comes Yuval Merrick. Will he have the run? He's most certainly got it now. Door quarter clear. Yuval Merrick, he has gained 7 spots since this race restart. What a move, what a move. Rancesoni, race leader, as well as Ignacio Glumser. These drivers gaining 6 spots since the drop of the green. There's Rodham Katz. He is just trying to take his medicine at this point as he has Dror Last and a hard-charging Dima Medvedik. Remember, Dima, he finished all the way back there outside of the top 10 in our heat race for gold here. ILAKA Esports, Automotive, and Karting. Here tonight we run in the sim racing world here. Dima, he's going to try and work his way back up to 5th, 4th, and 3rd here. Really, 5th, 4th, and 3rd you could throw a blanket over. None of these drivers are out of the final driver interview spot just yet. Yuval Merrick, he has a 1-second gap over Rodham Katz right now. Rodham running 4th, Dror Last running 5th. Here comes Dima Medvedik starting to join the battle as well. Excuse me, that's Itzik Grossman starting to join the battle as well. 3 Ford Mustangs running 1, 2, 3 right now. Next Ford down there in 7th is going to be Itzik Driver at the black and yellow, kill a fellow number 4 machine. Will we see him dive down the inside in turn number 1? He's most certainly got the run here. He's got the momentum. Who gets deeper into the braking zone here? We've seen it be a problem corner. Not only turn 1, but as well as turn 3. It's at Grossman, door quarter clear up to P6. That's a great, there you go. Matt Vey is take. Let us know there once again if you're just now joining us, man. Yuval, biggest fan there behind him, as well as biggest wheel there in front of him. Matt May-Veerman saying bigger wheel being you have that more precise input, and that's what we continue to see. I'm curious to see if Rancesoni's camera just tilted down maybe about 5-10 centimeters or so. Curious to see if Rancesoni's running the old F1 wheel here tonight, or if he does have a way bigger wheel that we're seeing Yuval Merrick run with here tonight. Rancesoni continues to lead. Here comes Ignacio Glumsher. There's Yuval Merrick with his biggest fan down there live behind him within the driver cams. These drivers running 1, 2, 3. Next closest battle on track here, though, it's going to be between Ido Baustan as well as Dima Medvednik. Like these, oh man, Ito's gonna run way wide there in that Porsche number 50 machine. 5 minutes down, 14 minutes left to go in this feature race for the Gold Series. We're starting to approach 1,000 subscribers here on Stam Studio Network. Make sure you tell your neighbor, you tell your grandma, you tell your little kitty cat, man. Go, every single one of you subscribe here to SSN here as we approach 1,000 subs. And for the fans, for the drivers alike here, go ahead and enjoy the sights and sounds here tonight as we have battles starting to ensue. Man, I'll be right back with you up here in the booth. This is your one and only warning here. Go and crank this down because look at this battling here between Dima, Yossi goodbye, man. Oh my god, excuse me, that's Ido Baustan, but Dima, he's well within the front of this battle trying to run away from him as he has made his way past. Man, how about it? The Lamborghini of Yossi goodbye here, remember. Look at his front rotors. Well, first of all, oh man, call that the Sean and Tater curse. Right when I mentioned his name, man, that's going to be Dima down, out, and around. Looks like he tried to carry a little bit too much speed. We'll look back at here, this battle between Yossi and Ido Baustan. Man, this is starting to heat up and broil here between these two drivers. Shell, it's such a momentum and I mean, you really have to keep your speed up here within these corners there. As we were looking at the battle for the race lead starting to heat up during our Crank It Up. That's something I noticed. Even though Rancesoni, he was tapping the brakes in a few corners that we really didn't see other drivers using the brakes in. Rancesoni he was a little bit slower on the corner entry, and he was able to make up the time on corner exits. Ignacio Glumser doing that, well, excuse me, Ignacio Glumser, as Ran was doing that, Ignacio worked his way just to within 0.2 of a second to the race lead here tonight. But now, well, don't look now, excuse me, but here comes Yuval Merrick. He is now within 0.2 seconds for this battle for the second running spot. This is not what you were wanting to see if you were an Ignacio fan here tonight, because Ignacio started a battle for the race lead here, and now he has to start playing defense instead of offense here to Ford Mustang starting to battle at its here for second and third, as well as that Ford Mustang, Rancesoni, continuing to run away with the race lead here tonight. Halfway to down, halfway to go within our feature race. Here we go. Yuval Merrick says, look, I'm going to try to do this as cleanly as I possible, says Yuval, but respectfully saying I also have places to be. Yuval tries to say possibly. That's a little bit of something for the race leader here tonight. That was the outside line. It transitioned back into the inside line for Yuval. Door quarter clear. Merrick up to P2. Our only drivers within live driver cams right now, running first and second out here on track. And look at it. I mean, I'm sweating up here in the booth just watching them. Look at the sweat start to just bead in. Oh, Rand's face there. He is jiving his way. What an immaculate save there for Sassoni as he continues to run away with the race lead. Right now it's a 1.2 second gap. Rand, he knows. He has a black box available in his bottom right of his screen. He knows that Yuval Merrick has just made the pass there over Ignacio Glumser here. Will we see Yuval Merrick possibly come away with the double sweep here tonight from Shell v Power Motorsports Park? Just as, I mean, from the last time I mentioned here, it was a 1.2 second gap. Looking at the lap time history, it's going to be, oh man, it looks like St. Patrick's Day down there. That is lean, green, and mean for the MF Racing machine. Yuval Merrick continuing to close the gap. Last 5 laps, even though he had to make a pass doing so as well. I'm showing Yuval Merrick right now faster than race leader Rancesoni here. Coming just 9 minutes left to go in the race. Let's see, that'll be about 4 to 5 laps left to go here. About 18 turns, 5 kilometers per lap. That is easier said than done to hold off a hard charging. Oh no, Rancesoni's gonna get loose as a caboose there out of the exit. That's going to present Yuval Merrick. Okay, with all due respect here, it is not if, but it is when Yuval Merrick is going to be able to make a move down to the inside, or will it even possibly be the outside line here for Rancesoni? It was 1.2 seconds separating the front 2 runners. Right now we'll cut it down in half. Just 0.5 of a second separating the 25 and the 43 here tonight. We got the old, we got common people singing the old streams very quiet. Well, okay. I can't crank it up too loud because, well, then I'll be blowing out the old eardrum. So, you can possibly hit the old up button on the old volume button there, because I think at least, well, okay, I'll take your word for it. I'll give you a little bit more engine sound. But anyways, other than that, the reason I do say it is we're showing engine sound A-OK from a few other viewers here in SSN below. Here we go. Hopping on board. Battle for the race lead continuing to heat up here between 2 Ford Mustangs. Yuval Merrick, Rancesoni still continuing to go at it here. Yuval makes the move that he made into turn 1, but here comes the switchback for Rancesoni, trading a little bit of paint there. Yuval Merrick up to the race lead. Goodness gracious, I'm trying to do this all sorts of that I can here to show just how tough this is, especially for Yuval to make this move around the outside line into turn 1. Sure, it backs to back it around to the inside line there, but oh man, even though he sent it back around to what is the inside once again. This is just racecraft. This is just racing that cannot be beat here in the ILAKA Esports and Karting Series. All right, let us know if the old audio levels are back to where they should be as Rancesoni continues to hold off Ignacio Glumser here, at least for P2. Ignacio Glumser has a 4.6-second gap over Rodham Katz there for the final driver interview spots for our feature race. It's at Grossman, Dror last, Yossi Gabai here continuing to run 6th, 7th, and 8th on track. Ayeli and Omri Farah grounding at the 9th and 10th running spots. So we made this pass. Yuval, he didn't make it look easy, but he did make the pass down there into turns 1 through pretty much 4. Took him 4 different turns to make the pass happen. So we approach 5 minutes to go. That should be about 3 laps left within this race if my math is most certainly mathin' here. 3 Ford Mustangs continuing to run away with it. Final time here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Go ahead and enjoy the sights and sounds of the racetrack here. My name's Sean Stam. I'll be right back with you up here in the commentary booth. Go ahead, crank this puppy back down. I'm going to bring you back to some checkered flag racing here on Stam Studio Network. We're continuing to see very nice battles out here on track. A second and third battle starting to heat up as well as Ignacio Glumser he starts to reel in Ryan Sassoni for that second running spot here. The battle we were just watching there during the crank it up though, Dror last and Yossi Gabai here continue to run 6th and 7th, just seconds apart here from one another. Right now it's less than half of a second here as Dror last is going to start to draw a little bit more of a bead here on on Yossi Gabai's rear bumper. Yeah, I apologize for the audio issues there, man. That's why I open up every broadcast saying, hey, don't be afraid to let me know if the audio levels are A-okay or if they're not, man. I'm embarrassed about it, but I mean, you best believe I'll get them back to where they should be here. Continuing to look at battles on the racetrack here. Ido Baustan and Ayeli here continuing to run 8th and 9th here with 3 minutes left to go in the race. 3.5 minutes left to go with lap times ranging in the 144s. That should put us about 2-3 laps to go this time by, depending when Yuval Merrick is able to make his way across the start-finish line here. Speaking of Yuval, he has a 4.3-second gap. Ryan Sassoni continues to run in that second position there. Driver number 43. He's led the most amount of laps here tonight, but after having to let Yuval by down around, it was the inside, it switched back to the outside, and then twice again, inside, then outside. Well, Ryan Sassoni will fall back to P2 as he'll have to start playing some defense over Ignacio Glumser here. Ignacio, a driver we'll hop on board with here. Ford Mustang, one of my favorite cars here within the GT3 universe. That little short snippet there doesn't tell you why, man. Just the sound alone. Sure, it's a little bit heavier car. You got a little bit more tighter conditions to work with here down and around behind the wheel. But Ryan Sassoni, Ignacio Glumser, and can't even talk enough about Yuval Merrick here. 5.3 second gap. Once again, 3 Ford Mustangs, all-American power, leading the field here tonight. Rodham Katz continues to run fourth, the first running driver outside of the final driver interview spot. Itzik Grossman runs P5, our second biggest mover here tonight after he gains 8 spots. Yuval Merrick gaining 9 spots after the drop of the green flag. Ido Balstan, Ayeli, also still a really close battle out here on track as we should be approaching 2 and 1 lap to go this time by. Out here from the land down under. Ayeli, not bad as he's only got about 0.8 of a second gap to work with here over a hard charging Ido Balstan. These last lap time history compared between these two drivers, it has been Ayeli faster, but although, I mean, visually it looks like Ido Balstan continuing to reel him in here. This is a Ford Mustang who's trying to put it to a Porsche 911. All the Porsches running 9th, 10th, and 11th out here on track at the moment. All right, white flag lap this time by Ranchisoni has 5.6 seconds to try and work up there to the race leader. More importantly though, instead of offense, Ranchisoni is going to be on defense here tonight. So he has just under 5 kilometers to work with to just hit every single corner, every apex as well as every corner apex here. 0.7 of a second separating second and third, 6 seconds separating Yuval Merrick from Ranchisoni for the race win here tonight. Once again, man, this is, I don't think it's a fluke, you could call it, because this is time and time again, it's either been the Ford Mustang or the Mercedes AMG who has found themselves down into victory lane, not only within the IIL broadcast here, but also between all other GT3 series that I make broadcasts for. This Ford Mustang within this newer tire model within the iRacing universe, it has relatively been the car to beat here. Top 3, top 5, man. Mustang, Mustang, Mustang. Then you got the Ferrari little outlier there. And then Mustang once again there for Itzik Grossman. We're going to start to see it here. Make it all official. I know I've already said it once tonight, though, but it's a bird. It's a plane. Tonight it's Yuval Merrick to victory lane. Driver's going to sweep here tonight from the land down under. MF Racing number 25. He's going to take away not only the heat race win, but the feature as well. Ranchisoni works his way back up to P2 here tonight. Ignacio Glumser down and across the line, P3. Here comes Rodham Katz across the line, P4. It's at Grossman, final 5th driver spot here tonight. Yossi Kabai, Dror Last, Ayeli, Ido Balstan, Omri Farag, Aaron Delitsky, Dima Medvedik, and Mark Zubrev are rounding out the 13 driver field here tonight. Stick with us here on Stam Studio Network. We're going to bring you some live driver view interviews for the top 3 here in just a few moments' time, as well as official, unofficial race results. My name is Sean Sam. I'll be right back with you up here in the booth. Hey, Yuval Merrick, man, how about it? This Sean Stam up in the old live interview room. You got yourself a copy.
Yeah, copy.
Oh boy, we were doing some chatting here before this one. Letting me know that the GT3s, they feel like you're on a razor's edge here tonight. Well, within, I mean, let alone an immaculate first heat race, as well as that race restart there, the top 10 inversion. I don't know how, man, going to come home with another sweep here tonight. Congratulations, Yuval. Walk us through, how did you get it done here tonight from Shell V Power Motorsports Park?
First of all, I knew that my main, competitors wasn't racing, so
Yeah,
I said, like,
no kidding.
I don't need to push 100%, but just survive the first lap, and we'll see how it will go from there.
Man, survival of the fittest here from the land down under. You're going to put some real nice pace on him here tonight. Even your last lap was, I mean, almost a whole second faster than Rancesoni. How about, I mean, how did you do it here, Yuval? Is it the practice? Is it the preparation? Or is it that big steering wheel and the Ford Mustang here tonight?
I think it's a bit of, I had the fastest car on track. Like, the Ferrari is slower, the McLaren is slower, the Mustang is the fastest car for this track, and yeah, just a lot of practice.
Well, Yuval, man, you're going to put it to the field here tonight. Who are we shouting out? Who makes this all possible for you to come out and race every night here, well, every other week in the IIL, ILAKA GT3 series?
My sponsor, Griiip. Yeah.
Alrighty, Yuval, we appreciate it, man. Have a great rest of your night. Congratulations on another sweep here, driver 25.
Thank you.
Alrighty, well, the only other driver in the live driver cams here tonight. How about it? Rancesoni, you're going to bring it home P2. You got yourself a copy, man.
Yeah, I copy, man. How are you?
I am doing great after another race here tonight. Man, oh man, some side-by-side. We saw some elbows out, and we saw you work your way back up to P2 after that top 10 inversion. What was your race like here tonight, especially on the that's the restart for the feature race here, Ran?
Yeah, the restart was crazy. First of all, I think it's a new track for all of us. I know it's new for me. Once you get the hang of it, it's a pretty cool track. It's pretty fun, but I still didn't quite get used to the car and track combo. It's a new car for me. Everybody was talking about the Mustang this week. It's been doing really good in this track, and yeah, I kind of messed up my quali. I didn't finish in time, and I think I had the pace to get a P2 in the first race. But yeah, then I just put the car in the right place in the crazy restart for the feature race, and that was it. I was actually first, and I was trying to run away as much as I can, and hoping that Ignacio might fight off Yuval, but yeah, it was just too fast, man.
Things happen quick here from the land down under. You'll bring it home P2. What a race. What a race restart as well. Way to work your way up through the pack. Ran, who are we shouting out to here tonight? Who makes it all possible for, I mean, just, that's what, 2, 3, 4 podium finishers this season.
Yeah, so shout out to ILKA for making this whole thing happen, for Tal for managing, for everybody that is taking part in this amazing series and amazing thing, and for you, Sean, at Stamp Studios. Thank you very much, man.
Hey, I appreciate that, Ran. That goes a long, long ways there behind the scenes. Congratulations on your podium finish here tonight, P2. Ran, we'll see you in 2 weeks' time, man.
Yeah, see you, man.
Have a great rest of your night. And with that being said, well, we're going to catch up with Ignacio Glumser here, driver P3 for the feature race here for Gold Series. Then I'm going to catch the all virtual flight back home. Ignacio, you got yourself a copy?
Yeah, thank you.
Hey,
It's a
man.
tough race,
How are you doing after, I mean, goodness, 40 minutes of extreme, tight, door-to-door racing here tonight from the one, the only Shell V Power?
I am tired.
Yeah, I bet.
And especially because the track felt tricky on the race. On the practice, it felt much comfortable, and here, like, I tried to push a bit, and the car just went away. So yeah.
Man, I'm not sure if that constitutes to the track conditions and track temperatures or what. I wasn't part of the old practice sessions there, so I'm curious to see if practice conditions were cooler than the race here tonight. It was even some nice racing conditions. But with that being said, Ignacio, it was so much fun to watch you work your way back up to P3. That's 3 Mustangs rounding out the top 3 finishing positions here tonight. Ignacio, who would you like to shout out? Is there anybody who makes this all possible for you for another podium finish in ILAKA?
All my family and friends. and everyone that organizes this, and then you, like it's really awesome. Like it feels like a real driver.
Well, you look
Yeah,
like a
really.
real driver, keeping that face up, Ignacio. Congratulations on your podium finish here tonight. And like you said, shout out to Ilian and Tal Stern down there behind the scenes. I know that they do quite a bit of work here for us. So appreciate that.
Yeah.
My name's Sean Stam. Ignacio, you have anything else for us here before we get going?
Mustang was the best car. I'm a Mustang fan, so I'm glad there is a track that matches the Mustang. So yeah.
I'm right there with you, Ignacio. I think the 2 weeks' time, if the track is friendly to the Ford Mustang, we might see a little bit more than half the field there choose the blue oval. But congratulations once again on your podium finish here tonight. I'm gonna get going here, catch my virtual flight back home, and then I have another broadcast here later tonight. So everybody, I appreciate you joining in on SSN and IIL YouTube. I appreciate the drivers here for putting on an immaculate racing show here, putting on a show for the fans. And I appreciate Tal and Ilian for everything that they do there behind the scenes. Have a great rest of your night, everybody, and I'll catch you about 2 weeks' time for the next IIL race. Take care. See you next time.